Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yeehaw! We're racing in Texas this week. Sorry, that's my last bad accent for the night. So, welcome to the Australian NASCAR eSeries. You've tuned in on this Tuesday night for round one of our playoffs in the X Series. Joining me in the booth tonight will be Carl Wilkinson-Withy and Nigel Sealdale. Welcome, boys.
Welcome, everyone. Going to be a cracking race tonight. We've got a bit of a hot track out there, I believe, tonight as well. Was it 29 degrees? I'm not sure what that is in other terms, but as we always say in these types of races, tyre strategy is going to win this race.
Here's our previous race results from last week at Talladega. Stevie Dubb taking the win in a thrilling finish by 12 thousandths of a second over Dave Douglas. Ethan Winter, Carl Withy, our man in the booth tonight, coming in fourth, and Tom Pritchard in fifth. And there's the season standing. So all the ones in yellow are our playoff drivers for this final series. You'll see them highlighted on the totem pole as the race progresses, so you'll be able to track where your favourite driver is throughout the race. They're doing their qualifying runs for you, so in a few minutes we'll be able to bring you the leaderboard.
And so far, here's a schedule that we got coming up. We've got Texas, then we head to New Hampshire, and the round of 12 finishes off at Richmond. Now, Richmond's one of those short tracks that can produce any type of racing, so for anyone that wants to get themselves into the round of 8, a win this week or next week will be something that they'll all be trying to get to, as qualifying is underway. There's only 5 seconds remaining, and everyone's set a time. We've got a fairly large field tonight. We've got 27 cars out there. And Carl, what are your predictions for tonight?
Well, we should be looking at some good racing, hopefully. There's some very quick drivers out there. Just looking at Jason Martin taking pole position tonight, I've got a very, very good feeling that purple machine could be running well. That 21 is definitely going to be a car to watch. All of the playoff drivers, though, are going to want to keep themselves out of trouble. It's so important to do that.
And we've also got, coming out of second position, we'll go through the grid now, is the points leader in Ethan Winter from Vortex Sim Sports. Third, Matt Danson from VRS Altus Engineering. Fourth is Wayne Berg representing Vermilion Esports. Josh Micklemore, another one of those playoff drivers, coming out of fifth, with his teammate Dave Douglas and Nitro Racing coming out of sixth. Clayton Davis, his first start in the X Series for Dinger Sim Sports, coming out of seventh. Alex Delbovics comes out of position 8, with Andy Barber from Southern Stars coming out of position 9, with DPR racing driver Stevie Williams coming out of position 10, another one of those playoff drivers.
Absolutely, and as we head to P11, it's Blaine Densley starting out of 11th, with Daniel Boyd for 12th position with Vortex. And 13th position is Ryan Barber for Southern Stars, with Shane Bowen and Cobalt on 14th position. Robert Dunt is in 15th, with Dane Snadden in 16th position. Riley Curtis starting down in 17th position for Nitro, with Tom Pritchard on his outside in 18th. And then it's Henry King in 19th for Team Jinx Shifters, with Aaron Gilbert, his teammate, alongside him in 20th.
In 21st, Brad Newman starting towards the back. We'll see him come through the field. 22nd is Jason Holdsworth, a playoff driver who's going to want to make some ground very early on. And we got Ryan Jones and Timo Blundell in 24th. Brent Gosley in 25th, Brian Blundell in 26th, and Michael Campbell rounding out the field in 27th. How about that margin for pole position? 1/1000th of a second. That shows how competitive these guys are out there.
100%. We got a crack.
Weather conditions 50 degrees. Sorry, Nigel.
No, that's all right. Like, we've got some really good drivers and playoff drivers. Ethan Winter will be the first of them there. He comes in with the points lead coming into this as well. But Jason Martin is showing some good pace in these races so far. As you can tell on your screen right now, everybody, the playoff drivers will be in purple tonight, so you can keep track of where they are on the circuit. And you can also, that will continue through the night scrolling through the screen so you can keep an eye on your favourite driver. And also make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching out there online, we welcome you. Any comments can be put into the YouTube channel. We'll get to those when there's cautions coming through. But Carl, give us a prediction for tonight.
Well, as I said, my big one is going to be, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Jason Martin. I've known Jason for a long time, that 21. He is very good around Texas, and he is going to be very strong here. Watch out for Matt Danson. He is hungry to get that win, get himself that position as well. But the pace car will be pulling in very, very shortly here, and we will be going live. We'll be going green for the first race of the playoffs, and it is the Australian NASCAR eSeries round of the X Series at Texas, and we are going green, 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 and away they go.
Great start, everyone. Looks like they get off the line quite nicely. They get close going into turn 2, but looks like Jason Martin's going to be leading these cars going into turn 1.
He's throwing it pretty wide on the bottom. He's looking to clear him onto the back straight. He's cleared Jason Martin there. He's got Ethan Winter on the outside of him now. He can't quite come up to get that perfect line. Rounding through 3 and 4. They've got to be a little bit tentative on these cold tyres. Danson takes lap 1. With Ethan Winter right behind him and Jason Martin not too far behind, with Wayne Burke coming around the outside of him and Josh Micklemore just in behind, another playoff driver there.
There's one thing too. You got to remember, the Xfinity Series will be a little bit different than trucks. These cars will separate a lot more, and also too, it's a very hot track out there. The sun is shining, so tyre wear will be important. So those who decided to save their tyres for a long run, which long runs in the Xfinity car do come more frequently, will go a long way to winning this race, as word has come through that Jason Holdsworth is out of this race with pedal trouble, so he will not be joining us tonight, as Andy Barber makes a pass there on that looks like Shane Bowen there into,
and a race for the lead. Ethan Winter on the low side of Matt Danson there. Good speed early on for the BBS Esports driver, or the former BBS Esports driver, the Team Vortex Sim Sports.
As you see, the other move there on Josh Micklemore and on Jason Martin as he's starting to head back in the field there a little bit, but that could be strategy as well. He can let these guys go and we'll catch later, as Wayne Burke there gets in the back of Matt Danson, and also too, there's a lot of playoff ANC drivers in here tonight as well. We've got the ANC, which will be happening on Sunday night at Kansas, as a pass on the inside there now on Matt Danson on Wayne Burke. Will take him up in the second position.
Yeah, some good driving out there, and I just wonder if Jason Martin's just holding off a little bit at the moment, not pushing too hard, just letting those tyres bed in and get him into a nice position laterally in the race. Of course, you do have to be careful taking that strategy, because sometimes it drops you in the pack and you are vulnerable to little moments. We saw at the start Henry King, he had a big sideways snap after a little bit of contact. Managed to keep it pointing in the right direction though, so no cautions in this race so far, but a bit of a moment for Henry King down the back of the pack. and that would have also overheated those tyres. Big run in the middle here for the number 40, and as always with Brad Newman, he is not afraid to make a move like that. He will absolutely squeeze that car into a gap that isn't quite wide enough for one of these Xfinity cars.
He's up 9 positions from the start already on lap 6, so he is not going to hold back in the Lobs Esports car 40. He's showing some great speed as well, and also as well, like Ethan Winter, he's got that 0.8 of a second lead now on Wayne Burke. He's been showing some great speed now for 3 or 4 weeks, so he'll be hoping today. I've just lost my train of thought there, but he'll be also hoping then to punch himself into the next ticket to the playoffs. As I've got 3-4 different things going on at once, but here we go.
Shane
Brad
Burton
Newman looking high, looking low, any which way he can get around. He's got a bit of a roadblock in front of him. Oh, takes it on the grass. Bit of Dale Earnhardt action there, and again, gets a little bit loose.
I've been on the receiving end of a move like that from Brad Newman before, and he does not take any prisoners. And you can see Shane Bowen was absolutely defending that low line as much as he could, but could not stop that car of Newman getting past, and he will absolutely rubbing his racing, as they say. He will go for that gap and force his point. He is not afraid of driving hard.
The other driver to watch too is Ryan Jones. He's up 8 positions now, up 9 positions now. He's in the 14th position. He's only 2 cars back there from Brad Newman, so he's another fast mover at the moment as Brad into the top 10. But as we go back to the lead now, we've got Ethan Winster and Wayne Burke are showing some great speed. He's gone. He's got that clean air. He's out of there. But then also too, then Wayne Burke and Matt Danson got a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field, but have they used too much of their tyre up early? We'll soon find out in the next 20 to 30 laps.
Bit of contact with Ryan Jones, I think it was, or it could have been Stevie Dubb actually. A little bit of a hip check there. Brad Newman absolutely pushing his way through that unsettled V98 of Stevie Dubb. He ended up going up the track. Great reaction, great job at holding the car. But I imagine that's going to put a bit of a target on Newman's back in the future. Stevie Dubb is going to be just tucking that away in his notebook.
As you see there's also a couple of new starters in the field tonight. In 7th we've got Clayton Davis, and in 9th is Densley. I hope I pronounced that right. That's their first start with us in the X Series tonight. Clayton done one race at Homestead in the trucks earlier on in the year as well.
So having a look at our YouTube chat, we have a commentator extraordinaire, the Quack himself, Scott Rankin, saying, prediction, we're going to be going fast and turning left. And Mike Gremlin says, the faster you actually turn right.
Got to turn right to turn left. That's the way you do it. You absolutely slide it through. Look at this racing, though. It is side by side, and a little bit further up, you've got Brad Newman as well, really putting the pressure on. The two very, very aggressive drivers in Newman and Ryan Jones. Drivers that have been on the track a few times, and they are not afraid to dice it up there, and they are doing it at the moment side by side through the quad oval section, and Newman just about makes it through. Next on his attack list is the number 10, and it's Double D, Dave Douglas.
Our man in the booth on Thursday nights. We can see in the background Ryan Jones making a move on the 38 of Shane Bowen there. They all file in now. Single file's going to be the fastest way around this track. Save a bit of tyres. You don't want to fight too hard this early in the stint. The fuel stint can go somewhere between the 50 to 55 range. So these guys want to push out as far as they can to that, to run that risk of hitting before a caution and getting put down a lap or two.
In the chat we've got Alan Root. G'day from Gurumbat. Go Yogo, aka Dane Snadden. Well, welcome Alan. Hope you're enjoying the action. I'm not sure where Gurumbat is. I'm guessing that's Queensland somewhere. Let us know. Hope we've got some Dane Snadden fans in the house tonight. He's up to 15th position at the moment. He's up 1 position. No, he's back to where he started. Andy Barber just made the pass then.
Ooh, somebody having a little bit of a moment, just giving the wall a tag. I didn't quite see who it was, but they had a big moment. It was definitely one of the yellowy cars. I'm wondering if it was Stevlovic just getting up close to that wall. But it just shows it's perilous out there. And this is the time when the tyres are going to start getting very hot as there's contact. Stevie Dub getting a big hit from the back. That's one way to pass. It's not going to get your friends, but it does work very effectively.
He keeps that thing going and we stay green as he drops a few positions back to 16th position. Hopefully he hasn't got too much damage on that car. He can hopefully keep it all together as him and Dane's in the 07 of Dane Snadden there. He's going to make the pass there. Looks like there's not too much damage on that DPR racing car, so I think he should be okay.
The big issue is going to be the tyre temperature. Those tyres will have got very hot very quickly when Densley gave that little bit of a nudge, and that could be affecting Stevie Dub for the next 5 or so laps, trying to get those tyres back into an operating temperature, and that is when it is really uncomfortable. But Densley on a flyer now, just getting up underneath Shane Bowen, really squeezing it and blowing up into the wall. Heavy contact there for Shane Bowen in the Cobalt 38.
Densley's not afraid to get the elbows out. He might be new to the league, but he wants to come through the field. He's made it into the top 10 now.
And this is the thing, we're only 18 laps into the playoffs, and these guys are already trying to put it on the line because they know that if we stay green, this field's going to stretch right out, and then all of a sudden then it's going to become a tyre race. And fuel saving as well, and your time on pit road, everything's going to matter. So we're 19 laps now into this race, and already playoff implications are already at risk.
And being those playoff drivers, they're going to want to take it a little bit easier. They're not going to want to take as many risks because they want to try and finish ahead of their other playoff compatriots. But if that win would be nice for all of them gunning for that victory to get them through to the next stage. But if you can't get that, then you just have to survive and get yourself a decent finish to get those playoff points and find your way into the next round. It is a lot of stress on that part, and it is so easy to feel dejected if it all goes wrong, but you've got to keep chipping away at it.
100%. If we look over the YouTube comments, Janus Fargua, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. G'day from Longthurston. He's a Diego fan club. Alan Rook is near Goom. With Trent Gosling there, and Barber is near Penella and Shepparton in Victoria. Yes, I know where that is. That's near Tachura, which is a place I go every week for work.
Good evening to Bradley Cairns as well, and Mr. Steve Hoppett out there. Good to see you boys in the chat. Hope you're enjoying this race. And we are seeing some great racing at the moment. And we've got one car down. It is Aaron Gilbert. I think he's back out on track, but it does not look to be going up to speed. So possibly some issues for Aaron Gilbert, unfortunately.
Good exit off turn 4 for Robert Dunt as he makes his way underneath Ryan Barber there. Into turn 1, clears him. Ryan's going to try and get the turn down on him. Robert might have just gone in a little bit too deep, got a little bit loose mid-corner. Ryan's got a little bit of a run down the back straight. He's going to get the preferred line on the low side going into 3 and 4. Robert's right there. Oh, little touch. Managed to save it. Ryan backs out of it. Robert's still getting a little bit loose through that mid-corner. It just unsettled him. So Ryan's going to get this run down the main straight. He's got the shorter way around the track. Turns it in nice and early. Gets the car settled. Side by side. Better car width in between them at the moment. That outside line's going to happen. Oh, if we see him in the fence.
Caution flag is out.
That brings the caution.
So Daniel Boyd went wide up into the wall. A little bit of contact from behind. I think it was Stublick, and just caught the back of Boyd's car as he was sliding. Unfortunately, up into the wall, made contact with himself, Andy Barber, and I think the engine is gone on the 79 car. Unfortunate
way to start the race. We're only 24 laps in before that happens. Just you get a bit loose off the corner and you just got to let out the throttle. If the car's not quite aware behind you, that's exactly what happens. It's just nowhere that preceding car can go.
And no brake lights on these cars. It is very, very difficult to see that car slowing down. And now we see the pit stops, everybody coming in 24 laps into this one. I imagine they're all going to be looking to chuck a fresh set of boots on as well. Get them back out there into this race. I don't think anybody will be not wanting to take tyres. I think most people will take tyres here because it's going to be looks like we're going to be hailing a lot of green flag racing, and you don't want to be stuck out there on 20-odd lap tyres. Ethan Winter makes a mistake. He overshoots his box and has to chuck it in reverse. That's going to cost him time.
And also, too, this is a massive break.
Race off pit road.
This is a massive break in for the car 98, Stevie Dubb as well from DPR. It gives him a massive break with that bit of contact. He'll be able to get that car fixed there, chuck a fresh set of tyres on, and he'll be away again.
So you can see there the amount of time lost for Winter. He's dropped it behind Burke and Danson. So that has dropped Ethan Winter down into third position. And that is going to be ever so painful. Tell you also another driver this really benefits is Brad Newman. He had to take a lot of the life out of those tyres with all of that passing, all of that heavy driving he was doing, working his way up 15 positions in this race. Same for Ryan Jones, actually, just behind him. But now they can get on equal footing and then get into this race. So this will really help their chances out. And now everybody's closed up again. They'll be able to get in on this race.
Drivers are going to want for a long green flag run this time. They can get to the end on one more stop, but it'll be two very long green flag stints for that to happen. They have two more sets of tyres over the wall. They're going to want to try and save a set for if there's a green and white checker or a late race caution. You want to have a spare set up your sleeve or you'll drop like a stone.
It's all about working out when those tyres are best to be taken and just having that feeling. And sometimes you can absolutely make the wrong or right call in a race like this, but it seems like everybody is on the same brainwave, same process. All that is apart from Brian Blundell, who looks to have taken just one set of tyres. He was quick through the lane, so it looks like he only took probably the left set of tyres. So that will be interesting to see how he goes for this one. And we'll see how this one runs out on this very, very hot track. Unsurprisingly, in Texas, it is hot.
As we look to go green this time by, there's look at the playoff situation. You've got Matt Danson, Micklemore, and Ethan Winter, second, third, and fourth. Wayne Burke will be leading this field. Newman and Martin in fifth and sixth. Jones and Dave Douglas from seventh and eighth, with Shane Bowen in ninth. Alex Delbovics, he would round out your top 10. There are your playoff drivers and the points there. Ethan Winter's got a fairly big buffer over the rest of them at the moment. As we're about to go green and go to the restart zone and the green flags in the air, we're underway once again here at Texas.
Very nice start for Wayne Burke on the inside. That gets away nicely. Brad Newman already dropping it low, getting right behind Jason Martin, and Danson dropping it down too. Josh Micklemore slightly up on the high side as it stands, trying to get the run off the corner. They've got to get the tyres up to temperature now, and that is it's always a weird thing when you're battling tyre temperature. First of all, you want the tyres hot, and then they get too hot, and then you're miserable for the rest of the race. Good move there as we see Brad Newman getting down on the inside of Jason Martin, moving himself up a position as we get back to green flag racing here at Texas.
You can see Brad Newman doesn't mind taking a bit of the grass. He's moved his way up to fourth place. He's not eligible for the playoff driver. He missed out on one of our charters. You need to be a chartered driver in here every week to make the playoffs. So you see them lit up in the purple on the stands. As we jump on board of Jason Martin out of 8th place, just looking ahead, and there's a whole stack of playoff drivers right in front of him.
A lot of these drivers too, they would have been into the pits, they would have seen what their tyre wear was for those 26 laps that we were under green, and they'll be starting to make decisions now going forward of how they drove that car in that first stint. Can they go a little bit harder, or do they need to slow it down a little bit? I wouldn't rule Jason Martin out of this race, although he's back to 10th at the moment. He's a driver that I think that could certainly still play a part later on in this race. But at the moment, Wayne Burke's showing some good speed here. Looks like Brad Newman's going to be making the pass to go up into second position. That Lobs car's fast.
Absolute rocket ship out there tonight, that number 14. He is just flying, and it will not be long until we see that car getting up to the front. It's a battle between non-playoff drivers now. They are out here just fighting for the wins, fighting for the glory. It's Burke versus Newman, and Ethan Winter can just sit back there and just hold on to the back of these guys, do a little bit of fuel saving too, and just relax a little bit and let these two fight it out up the front.
Pretty fast track here, so the draft does play a big difference in this race. You can hang in behind someone. Maybe you're 90% throttle down this back straight instead of the full 100 if you're tucked right up underneath. A few of the guys in the chat are liking this rubbing racing kind of style. They've said a bit too clean the last few races, so we want to see some door banging and getting into it.
It's good that the X Series does showcase some of the best local drivers in Australia. Newman makes the pass on the inside there. He just wanted to see what the paint was like on that car there. He checked it out there and he went back out a little bit to make sure, but he's going to hold that on the inside there, and looks like Newman's going to take the lead of this motor race.
Ethan Winter's going to look to follow him. So Wayne Burke just backs out of it. He's going to tuck in behind, push these guys so they're going to wear out their tyres faster, and then hopefully you can make that spot back later in this stint. Waffles B in the chat says, lucky the grass isn't wet. We saw one of the trucks go through the truck race on Friday night at the real Texas Motor Speedway. Absolute clobber the front end.
Yeah, ripped the whole thing apart, didn't it? It was a very big, freaky accident. We've seen it before, though, on the grass. You've got to be so careful. And then at the back here, we've got this absolute insanity. As World War II pilots would say, it's a verbal, absolute battle with everything going on. There is no teams playing with each other. It is all for one and one for all in that fight at the moment. And they are racing so hard down here in the pack. This is around about 10th down at the moment, so 10th to about 20th position, and that they are in a real knife fight as it stands.
It's also got a little battle there as well between 5th, 6th and 7th of Douglas, Mickelmore and Jones. If anyone can remember rightly, I think Ryan Jones and Dave Douglas came together last week in the Talladega race. I think Ryan will be looking to a bit of revenge, probably not in the way of crashing him, but as far as making sure he gets in front of him for position later on in the race.
You can see they're just getting the runs now and just working out where the strengths and weaknesses are. And as you said before, they've had that pit stop. They can work out if they were a bit too hard on the tyres, a bit too soft on the tyres, and now they can get the fighting absolutely in. And well, it is a shame. We're seeing Jason Martin drop down a little bit. I wonder if he absolutely had the perfect qualifying setup, but the race setup is not working for him. That's something else that we have to experience in the series, because it is all open setup. Sometimes you have the perfect qualifying setup, and then you get to the race and it just isn't the same.
And also too, with the way that the weather is generated, it's pretty much unpredictable. You come to the track and it could be any temperature, so you got to do testing for all different types of weathers and cloud cover and all the little different things for what open setup is. We try to make this as real as possible to the real thing. As Andy Barber there is sitting behind Blaine Densley there in the 27 machine in his first start in the series. So all these little things, it's not just rock up to the race and as a lot of people say, arrive and drive. It's certainly not none of that. There's a lot of these teams do a lot of practice to race each week. So like, yeah, that's why there's so many big teams, and you're better off working as a team. As you can see right there, like even with the playoffs, you've got the team of Nitro with Dave Douglas, Josh Mickelmore and Riley Curtis, and you've got the DPR Racing guys of Ryan Jones and Stevie Dubb, and then also Daniel Boyd and Ethan Winter. Even though Daniel Boyd's out of the race, Ethan Winter, they're both teammates for Vortex. So working as a team is very important for this series.
Absolutely.
We saw on the onboard shot earlier, there's not too many clouds in the sky, so a lot of sun on the track. It is now nearly 53 degrees Celsius on the track, 127 degrees Fahrenheit in the old money.
I think someone needs to get, is it Barney, the dude that does the flag? Someone needs to get him a hat. A better hat. I'm getting sunburned through it. Get something ahead. He needs some sun cream on that head.
Surely it's Texas. He should be wearing a big 10-gallon hat. He should be rocking the cowboy hat here.
Blaine Densling just makes a move there on Shane Bowen to take him back up into 8th position.
And you can see this fight, and been quite impressive out there, Densley. Just really very aggressive out on track, and really putting in some good moves out there. We saw that little one with Stevie Dubb, and I'm sure that will Stevie Dubb will have remembered that and could see some trouble for Densley later in the race, but definitely not afraid to make those moves early on in the 27.
There's also, too, we're back up the front now with Ethan Winter and Wayne Burke. I've just seen this on my other screen here. They've closed it back up here as well. So these three here are just going into that, I'd say, tyre saving mode, bit of fuel mode as well. Because also, too, like, even though there is one more stop, they would be saving fuel, so there'd be less time on pit road as well. So if you're out there online, make sure you got the comments are coming through, like and subscribe to the channels, and yeah, we're in for a cracking finish, 42 laps in.
And you can see on board with Wayne Burke and really putting the pressure on Winter at the moment. These two have been really battling it out, really close stuff, and the mean green inside of that machine is absolutely pushing it. As we get a little bit of a look, and you can see in the mirrors, these cars don't have exactly the best mirrors in the world, and they're not the easiest things to stay out of, but you can just about make out the cars behind you, and it is useful when you can just get a glimpse of what the other guy is doing, but generally relying on that spotter for most of your calls.
So jump in our chat. Tell us who you think might take this out. We see Winter making this move for the lead now. Brad's getting a little bit loose off the corner exit there. You see him getting a little bit squirrely there. It's going to allow Winter to have the run down the back straight. Turn it into turn 3 and 4 here. Bit more banking on turn 3 and 4, so you can run it a little bit harder. Fun fact about Texas, 20 degrees banking on turns 1 and 2, and 24 degrees on turns 3 and 4, with 5 degrees on the front and back straight. Oh, we see Newman get in there deep there. Rubbing quarter panels there. Runs Ethan Winter up the track a little bit. He's going to squeeze him right out to the wall, get a bit of a side draft on him, slow him down. Wayne Burke's right there as well. Winter's going to want to lock in his next round in the playoffs early on. Like Nigel said earlier, you do not want to be relying on Richmond and the curveballs that might be thrown there. As Wayne Burke throws it on the inside of Brad Newman there. This fighting's slowing them down, so it's really letting Wayne come up to the challenge here. Runs up to the wall right near Brad's quarter panel there. Going to clear him. Brad's just stepping out of this one. Might save his tyres, but you can see the gap that now is closed up to Danson.
I get the feeling that he was just wanting to get a little bit out of it because temperature was starting to creep up a little bit further back, and we can see one of the DPR cars, the 11 of Ryan Jones, making a big move on Double D, Dave Douglas, and moving himself up a position as well, and Jones is on the hunt too tonight.
The driver with pedal troubles earlier, Jason Holdsworth, is in the chat saying the leaders have used up their tyres, putting my money on someone else having a good long run pace. That could be Josh Mickelmore in 5th place, or Ryan Jones, Dave Douglas, they're not too silly too early on, they could be a chance of sneaking this. Haven't seen too much out of Josh Mickelmore, so he might be the smoky here. As we see Danson making the move on Newman there.
Newman is starting to fall like a stone at the moment, and he is tumbling down the order. Maybe went a little bit too hard, too fast, as we said, and has just used up the very best of those tyres, and now is suffering for it. And I imagine he will be kicking himself for that one because he had such a good pace early on, but obviously the long run pace is not quite working for that number 40 at the moment. He might need to do some tweaks of some tyre pressures when they come down the lane next time. Hopefully it will have cooled down a little bit then as well, and he get back in this race for the final few laps. And he'll be hoping that he can sort of do those little tweaks to get him back for some long run pace.
I wouldn't rule out the purple machine of Jason Martin. I wouldn't rule him out. I think he's playing the long game. I think that he just let everybody go, realising that they're going to burn their tyres up on a hot track, and he's thinking to himself, well, I just play the long game here, I can do one more stop and just sit back here, and I think he's the dark horse to take this race out.
Absolutely. I'd never rule out Jason Martin. I remember back way 28 there, very, very lucky to save that claim. Davies getting a run down the inside now, moves himself up into 11th. Alex Stelovic just had that big moment, got a little bit too close to the apron, and that is how quick it can happen, but good saving there. Just going back to what I was saying is, back when I first started commentating it back in 2018, I think it was, I was told just a couple of things. One thing, Jason Martin is probably going to win the race. And that was my one little bit of information coming into that race. And ever since then, I've seen Jason Martin and Matt Danson both be incredibly strong. They are two drivers that are very hard to beat on an oval. And it just shows the level of competition we're seeing with everybody around them.
And the track temperature has now risen to 128, which is getting very, very hot. And also, too, I'm not sure how much damage Stevie Williams had with that incident early in the race. So he's another one as well that could be playing the long game back there as well, as Josh Mickelmore now makes the pass on Brad Newman. So he drops Newman back to fifth overall. So his tyres look like they're on their way out, but we've got a long way to go in this race.
Seeing Brian Blundell coming in to the lane. Not sure why coming that early. Tim Blundell as well has been through the lane too. So very early stops there. Maybe just thinking they're going to go come in now. And we got 3 wide on the track. Round the outside, Stevie Dubb up there. We were just talking about him, Nigel, and Stevie Dubb back out on the attack. Doesn't look to be too much damage on that DPR car. I'd say it was just the heat damage on the tyres. So now he's back in this race for sure.
100%.
We're about halfway through our fuel stint now, so this is where you start to see who's got the good long run car. I'm putting a bit of money on Josh Mickelmore. He's just been the quiet one. He hasn't been racing too hard. He's just let the people go early, and he's 1.3 seconds off the lead.
Well, I know Josh has been doing a lot of races this week and a lot of practice for the race tonight, as Jason Martin looks like that he's going to make the pass, and Dave Douglas there to bring himself up in the 8th position. So yeah, I know he's been putting a lot of focus on this race because he knows how important this first race of the playoffs really is.
Track temperature is climbing a little bit. It's up to 52.2 degrees Celsius now. It is very, very warm out there, and that is going to be crucial to keep your tyres alive. You do not want to be pushing too hard, and I think that's what we're seeing now, is those drivers that have been looking after those tyres are starting to come to life, and it is really pushing forwards. But Ethan Winter up the front is doing another great job using that clean air to his advantage and keeping that car as one of the fastest on track at the moment. So he's doing a very good job at the moment.
And also Matt Danson too. We wouldn't start ruling him out yet of the fight as well. He's only half a second behind. He looks like he's just sitting there saving his tyres as well. But also Ryan Jones, he's up 17 positions now into 6th in the DPR car. He's showing some great pace and some long run speed as well. So he's starting to understand that he would have looked at his data from the last pit stop and realised that maybe if I drive a little bit different here, maybe different there, here, there and everywhere, and he's put himself up now into top 6. He'd be wanting to win this race as well.
Absolutely. Ryan Jones, he's done a lot of developing as a driver throughout the years. It used to be always very, very quick in that 11, but there was a time when he would be very, very hard on his tyres. As we see Shane Bowen now making a move down the inside, he gets on Dave Douglas, gets himself up into 9th position, and moving up there as well is Clayton Davies as well, making the move underneath Dave Douglas. But yeah, Ryan Jones absolutely evolving as a racing driver and really has come on leaps and bounds throughout the years. Always been incredibly quick, but has that ability to keep those tyres alive nowadays. And he's very much an all-rounded, decent driver. And he is one of those guys that, you know, if you can be beating, you're doing a very good job indeed. But this battle on track at the moment is great stuff. Shane Bowen, another very quick driver out there as well, working his way up the field. It's now time to go for that number 38, you feel. And Clayton Davis keeping along there too, as we've got a battle for the lead.
Mainberg on the outside there. He's trying to make that pass stick, but Ethan's just got that little bit of a quicker car. Now, everyone at home will now start to see cars getting a little bit loose out there. As the track temperature is high, there's not much grip out there for him, so you're going to see some loose race cars in the next probably 5 to 10 laps. As Matt Danson just sits behind, lets these two fight along, and if they make a mistake, Matt Danson's just going to take over. But looks like they're going to settle back down into their rhythm again now. And yeah, I would imagine pit stops will be happening in the next 10 to 15 laps.
We're 35 laps into this stint now, so somewhere around lap 55, they're going to want less than 55 laps to go, so at least 10 laps away, I'd say. So Nigel's right on the money. Has Densley not pitted?
I've got him pitting on my one. Yep.
No.
Yep.
He's not pitted.
Was that Blaine Densley, I believe? I will go back and have a bit of a look at this.
So he's going to be at that extra set of tyres up his sleeve. So if we get a lot of cautions at the end, the 27 machine, look out.
He'll be very close to the end of his fuel tank now.
I can confirm Densley did pit, so it's just a problem with the timing screen.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought so. On my timing, it comes up that he has taken the same stop as everybody else. So no, it's not been out there all this time on his own. So yeah, we'll have to go and smack the computer and go and fire the intern that's meant to keep that one running.
I apologise to everyone for that little bit of an error. On my timing screen it said he hasn't pit, but he did pit on lap 24 with everybody else. So that throws that strategy out as like Robert Dunt's now coming out of pit road.
So maybe an early stop for Dunt, trying to use the undercut as an advantage, which it doesn't really work in oval racing. You want to have the freshest tyres possible. The undercut can get you a lot of spots early on, and if a caution falls at the right time, it can pay off. But for the race it is, you just need to keep on going and have the freshest tyres to the end. It usually pays off better that way. But we'll see how this strategy pays off for Robert Dunt. He has got 62 laps remaining in this race. Maybe that's a few too many for the run, but we'll see how it all unfolds.
If he starts fuel saving very early, he's a possible chance of making it to the end. But like you say, that undercut just often doesn't work in ovals. You need those fresher set of tyres at the end. And you push harder for longer, knowing that you've just got less laps to do on those tyres. So let's ride on board with Matt Danson for a lap here and see how his car's handling. Turns it in. Holding the wheel, he's not a little straighten it out there, a little bit loose in the mid corner. Oh, a big snap of oversteer, getting loose off turn 1 and 2 there. And then fire it down, get down to the apron early. Just hold the wheel there. You can see Josh Mickelmore right in that mirror, perfectly in frame. No oversteer coming onto the front straight there. That tells me Danson's used probably the best of those tyres. They are 41 laps into this stint. They're going to want to do another 5 to 10 laps now. Another
Oh,
big loose moment coming onto the back straight. With the banking of 5 degrees on that back straight, it really wants to feed the car sideways and get loose. You can see the amount of banking on the gyro there. If we're just looking over Danson's shoulder, 180 miles an hour before turning into the corner. Another little bit loose again. Very loose on the outside, so that's a very loose setup he's running right there.
But he's working the rear tyre with that setup. Just that thing is absolutely running off the right rear. And that is kind of what you want to be doing at Texas. If you can get it running off that right rear and not scrubbing that front tyre too much, it will be a much nicer car to the end and a lot faster as well. So it's a little bit trickier. It's a little bit... You've got to be a little bit careful as Brad Newman comes into the lane, and we're starting to see those pit stops. But often, if you can run it off that right rear, you are going to be golden on a track like this.
We saw a little bit of cloud cover come over the track. That would have cooled it down a smidge, and now the sun is back out, so we'll get a bit more slippery at the end.
Track temperature down to 50.6 degrees, so yeah, it's positively much cooler now. Almost dropped a degree there, so that will be favoured by a lot of these drivers. I'm going to be interested to see what Brad Newman does. I wonder if he chewed up a bit of those tyres too early. He's coming in now because he was struggling, and he's going to see what he can do with the rest of this race. We've got Ryan Barber into the lane now as well, so we're starting to see the pit stops coming. Who is going to be making this one absolutely pay off as we get green flag stops here at Texas Motor Speedway?
So they will be inside that fuel window to make it to the end, but these drivers are going to want to push these tyres till they're absolutely done before coming into the pit lane to try and make the move on. Well, as we see the 27 out there very wide in that corner, very tight race car there. As we see the 10 of Dave Douglas just looking on the back of Stevie Dub, I believe, in that DPR car, with Shane Bowen ahead of him too. Look how loose Stevie Dub is. A lot of these drivers are starting to really feel it. The problem is, if they know if they pit now, their final stint will be longer than the current stint they're on.
55 laps remaining. They've done 46 so far. So if you're all, I think Stevie Dub was just up in the wall then. Just very, very slight glance on that wall. But that's it, Aaron. You know, you've got to do more laps in this stint. You can drive it a little bit slower, underdrive the car, but you're going to be really struggling as we see Blaine Densley coming into the lane and Stevie Dub as well.
So we see Matt Danson there coming into the clutches of Josh Mickelmore and Ryan Jones not too far behind him. Well, quite a ways behind him. That was a lap car, my bad. A big slide there has allowed the 31 of Josh Mickelmore to get underneath Matt Danson there. Danson's not going to fight it. He doesn't want to wear out his tyres more than they already are.
And I'm sure Trev Mickelmore will be cheering on Joshy for that move. Very nicely done. Booking himself up in front of Danson. Has got good long run pace by the looks of it for the 31, and that is good news indeed if we see the rest of this race running green, which is very likely. And well, green flag stops coming up. It's going to be so crucial to hit those marks, hit everything perfectly. We know how easy it is to speed in the pit lane. We know how easy it is to miss your pit box. You've got to absolutely nail it 100%. You can't afford to lose a couple of tenths of a second coming in too cautiously or exiting too cautiously. You have to be fully on it.
These lead drivers are going to want to push out to maybe lap 80, 85 to really shorten up that last stint. And then they'll be coming in for their pit stops. if there's a caution now, if you've already pitted, you might get trapped a lap down if you've dropped off the lead lap while pitting.
Yeah, we should see, once this all unfolds, I think we'll see Brad Newman up with a massive lead, but he is going to be struggling towards the end of this race. Got to say, at the moment, it's looking good for Ethan Winter. Again, has got such good pace out in the clean air. We've seen it. Oh, there's a big move behind there, 3 wide with Matt Danson. Brad Newman coming through. Some of the lap traffic really getting out there, as Dunt as well is closing up. And these guys on the fresh tyres, with Matt Danson now getting past, this is where a caution could easily come out to play, because a mistake made with those cars on fresh tyres trying to pass the leaders can easily happen.
So Brad Newman's just trying to make his way up past Ethan Winter. He's only not far behind him. Oh, big wiggle for the 11 of Ryan Jones there.
Just took the aero off the back of that car. It just got unsettled, and Jason Martin is now on the charge. Almost like you predicted, Nige. Jason Martin coming through us. Oh, big snap there for Ryan Jones.
So this is that danger we're saying. If you're that lap down, you've got Newman trying to unlap himself at the moment. If there's a caution now, a lot of these cars will get stuck that lap down. They'll be forced to take the wave around instead of being able to have pit and get fresh tyres to the end. It will really hurt their race.
I reckon you'll see Ryan Jones come down this time, but I think he's had enough. Oh, yep, here he goes.
Big slide, trying to get it into pit lane. Oh, that's coming in very fast.
That's going to be a penalty. I would.
That is 100% a speeding penalty. That will be a 40-second stop and hold. He will go a lap down.
Yep, and a black flag next to Ryan Jones, and he has got himself a penalty. That is painful after all of that hard work. And we said it's so crucial getting those pit stops absolutely nailed. So easy to make a mistake, and that is exactly the mistake we were talking about. Jason Martin into the lane now. We're starting to see the leaders come through in dribs and drabs. Not seeing a big pit exodus at the moment. There's not a big stampede of cars, but they are coming in dribs and drabs. And, well, the 21 now getting the service. Riley Curtis as well just coming through. So plenty of action now on and off track.
As we see the leader, Ethan Winter, just come around. This is that danger. He's just passed Jason Martin there. So Jason Martin goes down a lap down. If there is a caution, that just tips this race on its head. Clayton Davies now into the pit lane. Ethan Winter's just making his way through traffic. He's got clear road ahead of him now. He can push right out to the end of this tank to minimise that chance of an undercut or an overcut. He wants to take that overcut, have the freshest tyre at the end of the world.
Oh, he's struggling out there now. Oh no.
With a bit of that traffic, he's going to want to clear that car on his inside so he can get the good run in.
Yeah, Winter really has to bring it in. I think he is indeed.
Yep.
Gets the car in. Oh, big lock up. Oh, I think he just about got away with that one. Just about got away with it. That was so touch and go. So Josh Micklemore now will get the lead and will get himself that lap-led position. It's Micklemore, Danson and Douglas. They have been extending. Henry Kinn doing a good job. He's up in 5th at the moment. Make that 4th position. He had that big sideways moment at the start of the race, but has managed to get that car back and running, and he's currently running well. And what these guys would love to see now is that caution. If that caution comes out right now, it could be absolutely perfectly timed for them.
So here's Brad Newman. He'll be the lead car on track once the pit stop cycle through, but he'll be on much older tyres, 16 laps on them already, compared to Ethan Winter, 0 laps. He's only done his out lap so far. That's going to make a huge difference come to the conclusion if we run this green. As we see Josh Micklemore in the lane, managed to get it down to speed for pit lane perfectly. No black flag against his name. Danson's looking very loose.
It does put the commentator up into the lead of this race, most famously known in Australia for his commentary duties, not for his racing, of course, Matt Danson.
Matt Danson also might be on Reddit writing his own post saying Australia's greatest sim racing commentator. As we see, the 98 of Stevie Dub's right on him. And then Ethan Winters unlapping himself. That's important if there is a caution.
And there's Stevie Dubb and Ethan Winter racing on track at the moment with each other too. So that was absolutely as close as you like it. And I wonder if Danson just got a bit distracted then listening into the broadcast and shaking his fist at us, I'm sure. But no, we love you, Matt. He's running very well at the moment, really extending. He should be coming into the lane very shortly though. It won't be long for the rest of these cars to come in to get those fresh tyres and then absolutely dominate out on track when they've got that big tyre advantage.
Stevie Dubb's on 10 lap older tyres than Ethan Winter. So that undercut worked to get that track position. But now if it plays out as a green flag run, he will struggle to keep that track position. We see Danson in on the background. Oh, hard on the brakes. No black flag there. So kept it under that speed limit.
Yeah, Danson just getting that really sideways, and he's managed to get it pulled up in time, but that would have been a very, very nasty one. And he overshoots his box as well, Matt Danson. This is a disastrous stop. He overshoots it, and that is going to cost him some time. That is not what he needed. He was hoping to save a little bit of time with the coming in just for that little bit of fuel loss that he wouldn't be taking, but that would have cost him a good couple of tenths of a second, and that could really be annoying as Dave Douglas brings it into the lane and he gets that casting couch pulled up nicely.
We've got Ethan Winter who would have, what does that work out to be, 15 lap younger tyres than what Brad Newman is at the moment. So that 6.5 seconds could be made up pretty quickly at the moment. I can see there he picked up half a second just while I was talking. So
last time around, Brad Newman was a 32.6, Ethan Winter was a 31.2. So you'd say that gap will close very, very quickly.
100%. As we right on board here with Wayne Burke, who is just behind Ethan Winter. Wayne Burke, he pitted on one lap earlier on lap 81 when we've got 36 laps to go here. So right now they'll be hoping not for a caution just yet. If they would want a caution, they'd probably want it with about 5 laps to go and put some new tyres on and then fight to the finish. But like I was saying earlier, the Xfinity car has the tendency to make the field spread right out. There's not as much close racing with these, but they are looser race cars. So at the moment, as these tyres do get older, they will be getting a looser and harder to drive.
And where we're saying that they need to bring it down safely to that pit lane speed limit, we saw him racing into turn 1 at 180 miles an hour in the old money. 45 miles an hour pit lane speed limit. So they've got to wipe off all that speed in not a lot of time. There's a lot of time to be gained and lost there. If we see Josh Micklemore making a move on Stevie Dubb there, that's the difference. Stevie Dubb's on 19 lap old tyres. Josh Micklemore's only on 6 lap tyres. And you can see how much distance he's already pulled on him. That is the difference between 10 laps of tyres.
You wait until you see Ethan Winter catch up to Brad Newman. It is going to be just sailing past. It's going to be almost look like Brad Newman's stationary, I think, when they catch up with each other. So it is a big time advantage. And what Brad Newman needs now is he needs that caution. He's going to be hoping to see a caution flag fall. If a caution comes out now, it could work out perfectly for his.
As we see, Micklemore, he's not hanging back anymore. He was hanging back those first 2 sessions, but he's driving like a man possessed. He wants to build his gap up to the front. He's the fastest car on track at the moment. But you see Winter is down to 1.5 seconds onto Newman there. A lot of those laps, he was about 1.2 seconds a lap faster.
The great thing about coming in late as well is it means you do not have to nurse those tyres to the end. You can absolutely punish those things, and that is what we're seeing now from Micklemore, from Danson, from Douglas. Those drivers that came in really late, they're now out there and absolutely making those tyres pay for their worth and really use them up for that speed.
You can see how much of an advantage Winter has in that mid corner. Not a lot on the straight, but he's able to carry more speed off that corner. As he's going to just turn down and just sail straight past Brad Newman, who can't do a thing about that unless he decided to throw a massive block. But look at the speed difference in the mid corner there.
You can see
And here we've got Wayne Burke just looking to do the same thing. He's got those fresh tyres too. Josh Micklemore might have left it a few laps too late. He's fallen 5.76 awry of the lead of the race. Just might be a little bit too much to overcome, but good solid result at this point. He will catch up to Brad in only a matter of laps, so he will, at this current stage, providing nothing goes too astray. Oh, we see Dancing going 3 wide. That's very narrow. Oh, we saw the 98 there just kind of back out of it as Dancing sends it 3 wide on Jason Martin again. And Clayton Davies there on the outside.
We can't get a replay of that, can we?
That is being decisive. That's something that we hear Matt Danson talk about a lot when he is commentating as well, talking a lot about drivers that he sees as they're just not decisive on their attacks. Matt Danson is always decisive and he just goes for it. Good little battle pack here with Mick Campbell, I believe, leading the group. Tom Pritchard, Ryan, Andy Barber and Henry King. But that's the thing, is if you're decisive like that and you don't make a half-hearted attempt at it, you can absolutely make that 3 wide work. Where it falls into trouble is when people do a little bit of a half move, or they're not quite as wanting to do it. Let's say they half-heartedly make that 3 wide, and that's often where we see the issues coming into effect.
We see Danson make the move on Densley there. He's up into 5th.
Oh,
and the caution is
yellow. Robert Dunn is around. And
32 of Robert Dunn, yes.
There's contact between him and, I think, Ryan Jones. So that has brought out the caution flag. Let's see
Ryan Jones
here.
is drifting up the track a little bit. Oh, that was a little bit unsportsmanlike. That just looks like I'm not too sure if it's a retaliation for something.
Oh, I mean, looking at it, it's one of those ones that's a bit 50-50. But yeah, I think there was a little bit of contact a little bit earlier on as well. They were making contact, just sort of coming through the corner, and this is where the second one comes. And yeah, it sort of looks like Jonesy's just drifted up a tiny little bit. Dunn's come down a tiny little bit as well. And it's one of those ones that's very tricky to sort of call, because they both sort of had that little bit of a wobble on the straight. And you can see there's the wobbles. And yeah, they're both, it's marginal between those two, isn't it, really?
I'd put the onus on the 11 for that one. He had plenty of racetrack to give him the space.
So when you
see the... Sorry, Nigel?
No, I was just going to say, but if you looked at the replay as well, you've got the car that wasn't right up against the wall either. So as we got cars coming down on pit road here, Brad Newman's into his pit stall there as well. We got the Wayne Burke and a few drivers
Everyone wants to hit their
out.
marks perfectly. They don't want to be backing up because that's only going to cost spots when they're going to be this condensed.
So Martin
Brad
and
Newman
Curtis
coming out of the pit lane now. Ethan Winter's going to clear him.
So Jason Martin and Riley Curtis sticking it out. They're going to be hoping that we see another caution, a couple of other cautions or another caution a little bit later on, and they'll take advantage of those final tyres. So they're gambling a little bit here, and that is a big gamble to come off. And we also just heard from Ryan Jones, busy in the text chat actually. He had a wheel bounced hard after that first contact and it caught him off guard. So he's raised his hand for that one and said, yep, my bad on that one. So good to hear that he is able to work out what happened, and it's just one of those little racing incidents, that one. It wasn't really anything between those two.
That was the one. That was the caution that just happened just then. And there's Ryan Jones. He's still in 21st position. It looks like he's still the lucky dog. If we do get another caution, he will get his lap back. But this is going to be interesting to see. We've got a few cars that will get a wave around here as well, so they're looking to get another caution. If you're out there online, like and subscribe to the channel once again, and also, any predictions out there for the final 25 laps to go? Who's your prediction of winning the race? Chuck it in the comments. Would love to see who your favourite drivers are.
We see a bunch of drivers take the wave around there, so they'll be on the older tyres, but they would have just wanted to get their lap back. Now we restack them, rack them. We're ready to go green flag racing after this last caution lap. With 25 laps to go, these guys are going to go hard. Put all the marbles on the track. That's why you don't want to get out wide on this. Basically, two and a half groove racetrack.
We've got a few of the playoff drivers. We've got Riley Curtis in second, Ethan Winters in the third, Micklemore's in sixth, Matt Danson's in seventh, Stevie Williams is in ninth. The 11th car is Shane Bowen, 13th is Dave Douglas, Ryan Barber's in 15th, and 19th is Henry King. They are your playoff drivers. As the track temp has dropped a little bit as well. It's down to 120 from where it was up around that 128 mark. So we are seeing a little bit of a drop there as we get a little bit later in the afternoon here. It's 1:20 p.m. in game time. So
watch out for this restart, because those guys on for older tyres need to get away well, and that's Martin and Curtis. They get away nicely as Riley Curtis gets a little bit of wheel spin. There's a bit of a check-up on that high line, and we can see cars darting all over the place, avoiding action. But Jason Martin's managed to keep himself up front for the moment, and Ethan Winter flies down the inside. Those fresh tyres just absolutely mothering the rest of the field.
And that's the difference of restarting on old tyres. They're going to drop through this field like a stone. They're going to be hoping for a very early caution so they can end up taking that last set of tyres.
Oh, Winter gets a big snap.
Big block there on Newman. Newman gets into the tail of him. He's in the fence. He's going to hold it. Car might have a little bit of damage on there. These cars don't handle very well once they get a bit of damage, but Anson's moved up to second place now. He's looking on the back of Newman. Danson's going to want to lock himself into that next round of the playoffs. So is Ethan Winter. This has really turned this race on its head. Danson was down in about fifth in that restart. He's found himself into second after the first lap. Ethan Winter's going to fire it up on the inside there so we can have another look at Brad Newman. Might not try and race him as clean as last time after that shove.
You just know that Winter will be thinking, well, okay, if that's how you want to race, that's how we're going to race. He gave a bit back, but unfortunately it bounced him straight up into the wall. Even Winter tried the door banging, but it didn't quite pay off as he wanted it to. But Brad Newman, obviously not in the playoff picture, so he is just racing for glory out there, and he is not afraid to take the aggression up to 11. Now Ethan Winter is catching up at a vast rate of knots. This is going to be some spicy action on track, I can tell you that.
I think Ethan wants to win this race.
And there's a little bit of what we're talking about. Give him a shove mid-corner, unsettle him. Try and get him loose on the exit of the corner and try and build the run. But they both got the power down about equal.
Here comes
This is really allowed Danson just to close that gap.
Oh, and there we go.
Here he is trying to just crowd him, side draft him. Get up the inside there. Newman's got nothing to lose here, so he's not going to mind a bit of hard racing. Winter's just got to be careful that he's not the worst off on the recipient end of this.
Matt Danson gives him a little bit of a...
There's Danson getting into the back of him, gives him a bit of shove, gets him up wide, slows him down. They're 3 wide. Danson's got the advantage of pace. Newman's on the outside. He's got a fair bit of momentum there.
Great job from Winter holding that car. He was full opposite lock through that corner. That thing was sliding and sliding and sliding. Great save there from Winter.
These
guys are going to be using their tyres hard. A little bit through the grass there for the cars following. Oh, big slide. He's going in deep into these corners, trying to build up that pace, but unfortunately, you go too deep, too hard. Those tyres are going to be a little bit cooked from that slide and the multiple slides he's had the few laps. Wayne Burke's looking on the inside of Brad Newman. Might clear him outside of the corner. Brad might have used up the best of those tyres.
You've also got Josh Mickelmore there as well. He's just overtook Ethan Winter, and then you've also got Densley and Davis as well in 6th and 7th. They might have something to say in this race as well. This isn't over by a long stretch.
Still got 16 laps.
Douglas in right behind him. 17 to go now.
Dave Douglas makes the move on the outside there on Clayton Davis, as I thought we lost everyone then. But looks like we're back.
We are, and you can see there Brad Newman really defending hard from Josh Mickelmore. Mickelmore is absolutely on the attack, but Brad Newman is going full defensive at the moment. And Mickelmore would want to get that move done, move himself up into 3rd position and try and close in a little bit on Wayne Burke. But all throughout the field at the moment, there is plenty of action. We're going to keep our eyes towards the front at the moment because that is where it is all going off. And I think we're going to see some fireworks from Brad Newman and Josh Mickelmore very shortly too, as Mickelmore makes it down the inside, gives that car a little bit of a kiss. Nicely done, Josh Mickelmore. Not adverse to driving by Braille, giving a few little taps here and there, letting the driver know who's on the outside, but he is there, and he is doing that right at the moment in that 31. Down the inside of Newman he goes, gets the car settled in, slide it up in front and gets the pass done. And well, now look at who's on track with each other. It is Newman and Winter once more, and I am sure Ethan Winter is seeing red in that car.
He's just got to be careful that he doesn't go too silly on this, because he will end up coming worse off. Brad's got nothing to lose, like you said earlier. He's in here for the glory.
I'm thinking that the car of Ethan will go from pink to red very shortly. The car temperature at the moment will be at its highest level yet, as he just gives him another little touch there to say, "G'day, Mr. Newman. I'm still here." As we come now with only 12 laps to go now.
So these cars are going to have the worst tyres at the end of this race as they've raced on all to this. Oh, if I can get my words out, the whole race. These guys have not raced this hard. There's Ethan on the inside, got to the quarter panel. Brad backs out of it. Might have got a little bit loose in the entry of the corner there.
And Winter moves himself up. Some good racing just behind as well with Douglas and Davies. They are really racing hard with each other. They've got Blaine Delaney up, Densley up ahead of them, who's having a fantastic run in their first outing tonight. Has got the 50 of Clayton Davis going down the inside and makes that move. But Densley can be very proud of themselves, up in the top 10 at the moment. and we go back to live pictures there, and really some good racing going on at the moment. But you've got to say, Densley doing a fantastic job on debut.
Winter's made that move now. So with the top 3 cars now, your playoff drivers, Danson, Mickelmore, Winter. So if you win tonight, you go automatically through to the next round. So these guys will be thinking that with New Hampshire and Richmond to come in the round of 12, the win tonight will mean a lot to these guys.
And in the chat, we got Trevor Mickelmore saying, "Evening all, my prediction is Carnage with 10 to go. Then I'll make my pick." Then Bradley Can said, "Elbows might be out."
Drivers it's not working out for at the moment is Jason Martin and Riley Curtis. They would dearly love to see a caution come out very, very soon to get their race back into things, but the gamble of staying out on those tyres has not paid off for those 2 cars.
That was definitely the gamble, but it was one I believe was worth willing to take, because once the saying goes, cautions breed cautions, and as we saw before by some of the tight, hard racing that is up the front, one wrong move, one car's in the fence, the yellow comes out, and then the strategy works. So it's not all lost. They'll take this, and their crew chiefs will take this back and put it in their little handbooks ready for next time we come and visit Texas.
We see 2 cars blocking in the background there. I think it was Brad Newman just throwing a big block on
Clayton Davies.
That's the one.
As we go head back up the front there, Danson, Mickelmore and Winter, they've got a little bit of a gap on each other now. They've decided to go their separate ways and not be so close to each other. As Danson's starting to give a little bit more of a lead as well. He's our series champion from last season as well in the VRS Altus engineering car. And at the moment, we look at
Sorry,
No, we look at the last lap time was 32.42 and a 32.48. So Matt Danson is starting to pull away a little bit at the moment on Josh Mickelmore. I think he doesn't really have much left in that car with 7 to go. So even still, it's all about the points as well. So I'm not sure. I think Mickelmore is third, I think, in points off the top of my head, with Ethan Winter was first on points. So those guys there, they're just banking points. They should be able to get through to the next round pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard for Mickelmore to catch Matt Danson, and Danson has a huge drop-off on pace. Can't see that gap closing to enough to get the race end. So it's looking pretty good for Matt Danson at the moment. What he does not want to see, though, is a caution. He does not want to see a green-white checker coming out, because with this gap at the moment, it is looking very, very good. As a big slide behind as Clayton Davies has a big, big snap, and Dave Douglas has to get on the grass. Whew. Dave Douglas will be wiping a little bit of sweat from his brow in VR there, as he really struggling to get that car going. And this is a great battle going on right now. There is some fantastic action on track at the moment. Some great action and great battles going throughout this field.
And there's one thing for all the viewers at home: these guys are not holding back either. These guys are flat out. So they cannot drive any faster. They're putting everything on the line. There's no friends out there at the moment with only 4 to go. As Mickelmore, he holds onto that 1.4 second lead. But there's a couple little battles downfield between Stabovic, Densley, and there's Williams as well, as we're looking at them, got those guys now. Stevie Williams will be hoping to hopefully get a couple more places, because every playoff point at as we get this far into the race matters.
That's why you see Dave Douglas just trying to put the pressure on and make an extra spot, maybe 2. That would really help him in those playoff points. Look at the gap that Danson's got over Mickelmore now. He can afford to just cruise, go 1 or 2 tenths of a lap slower, and just save those tyres. Don't run the risk of getting tight mid-corner or loose off the corner and potentially spinning the car, hitting the fence. Just smooth sailing, smooth inputs on the wheel. As we just see him run past the fence to see the gap and how spread this field is. There's second, third, fourth, fifth.
With 2 to go here at the moment, Matt Danson just holding to that 1.4 second lead. He's shown once again why he is one of the favourites to take this champion, as he got the white flag right now.
And that's so crucial, seeing that white flag. It means that we won't be seeing a yellow. So Matt Danson will be just taking a deep breath now, relaxing just that tiny little bit. Can't afford to relax too much, because that's when a mistake can happen and you can end up crashing. But he just needs to make it round one final corner here, and it will be victory for the number 30. It will be Matt Danson taking victory in this, the first round of the playoffs, and we'll be seeing him through to the next set of rounds.
Another incredible result for Matt Danson. That's his 3rd win for the season in that number 30 machine. He won early in the year at Atlanta, and he also won at Homestead, Miami as well early in the year. So that was his 3rd win for the season as well.
Good job as well. Josh Mickelmore keeping himself in 2nd position, and Clayton Davies up in Ethan Winter up into 3rd. He is going to be delighted with that. Very good results for some of our playoff drivers.
Also, a special mention to Trent Gosley. He was up 14 positions tonight to finish 11th. And now Blaine Densley and Clayton Davis in their first starts in the series as well in top 10. So
Ethan might be pulling a Denny Hamlin there, just trying to block the burnout. Might have not been happy how he was raced at the...
So let's run through the results and get through here as we see Matt Danson celebrating the victory here tonight. It's Matt Danson with Josh Mickelmore coming home in 2nd for Nitro. Vortex Sim Sports, Ethan Winter up in the 3rd, with Wayne Burke in 4th for Vermilion, and Lobsy Sports Brad Newman in 5th. Clayton Davies comes home in 6th position for Dinger Sim Sports. Nitro driver Dave Douglas in 7th. Alex Stelvit comes home in 8th position for APS, with Blaine Densley coming home in 9th position. Great job on debut for the DB27 driver, and Stevie Dubb for DPR rounding out our top 10 here tonight.
in 11th is Trent Gosley from MFR Racing, with 4th with Shane Bowen from Cobalt Racing, with a good playoff result for him. In 13th position, Southern Stars Ryan Barber with Tom Pritchard. In 14th, his teammate. 15th, Danes Staden Diego with Whiskey Business Racing finishes in 15th, with 16th position for Jason Martin, our pole sitter for this evening. Jason Martin representing Southern Stars Esports in 17th, and Henry King rounding out your 18th position. 19th is Riley Curlis representing Nitro Racing, and 20th is Michael Campbell.
21st is Robert Dunt, then Ryan Jones, Timo Blundell, Brian Blundell, Aaron Gilbert, Daniel Boyd with a lot of issues early on, and Jason Holdsworth not being able to make the start of the race with some hardware issues. We might take a quick break and then we'll get into our interviews.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have got our top three up here in the booth with us, and we'll be starting off with our third place finisher tonight. It is Ethan Winter. Ethan, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on P3 on a very, hard-fought race for yourself.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining race, I imagine. Just kind of different strategies in play there during that green flag run, and then it kind of mixed it up there at the end with that caution late. Probably definitely didn't need that. Felt like I probably had everyone covered there. I feel, but that's racing. Nothing I can do about it, and yeah.
Well, you had some great pace out in front when you had the clean air. You absolutely were nailing it lap after lap. And as you said, that caution coming out really didn't help your attack here at Texas. You must have had your heart sinking when you saw that yellow flag.
Yeah, it's not a great moment a few times now. I've kind of missed the adjustments when a caution comes out late and, going backwards. So just a bit of inexperience again showing. I need to work on, restarts and just making better adjustments. Long run speed's, pretty good considering who's around me, but just need to be better on the short run for sure.
We saw some great door banging between yourself and Brad Newman as well, and that was some fierce battling. We said that possibly the red mist might descend from yourself because it looked like you were having to do some really hard battling out on track.
Yeah, no, me and Brad that's just racing. He gave me something, so I gave it back. Everything's fair on that part. Matt kind of played his cards there at the end. That's just in a memory bank for me in the future, but. All in all, not worried about third. That's a good result. For Vortex. Just happy all around.
Absolutely, and playoff picture-wise as well, it's not a bad finish for yourself, and that's going to help hopefully look towards the next round for yourself.
Yeah, I think I'll be well and truly above the cut line now. So just got to be smart these next two rounds before we cut 4 and move on to the next round.
Absolutely. Look, congratulations tonight. Another great run. And hearing yourself talk about just needing to learn, get that bit more experience, that's always a dangerous thing to hear because you've got such great pace out there. The fact that you're learning just means that you're going to be even harder to beat in the future. Before we let you go, though, Ethan, love shout out to sponsors, teams, everybody out there. You deserve it for tonight's racing.
Yeah, obviously, thanks to yourselves for the good call, as I can imagine. Thanks to Nigel and Jason for doing all the work in the background to make all of this happen. Thanks to Manington Toyota, Canning Vale Toyota, Bella Modular, TD Grading Flats and Modular Homes, KZS Auto Works, Soul Deep Massage Clinic, Team Conti for the sets, Styled Imagery, The Goalie Glove Guy, and 88 Media.
Thank you so much, Ethan Winter there. Congratulations on third place tonight, and I'm sure we'll see you back in the booth in no time.
Thank you.
And now for our second place finisher, Josh Mickelmore. You laid back quiet in a lot of that race, and then come on strong at the end. Was that always the strategy?
Yeah, they call me the shark, mate. Nah, we're saving our stuff at the start there. Hoping we get a long run, which we did, and we were able to stick with the first couple. And just sort of played our game from there. We weren't too bad short run as well. I was a bit unsure about what we had short run, to be honest, because with the officials last week it was mainly all long runs we got, so I didn't get many short runs. But yeah, no, it was good to have a good finish. I'm glad we got a good finish because I'm sick of getting wrecked lately. So now it's good to have a good finish.
That was a good drive from you. Smart. Just kept it out of trouble the whole time. Made the right adjustments when it was needed and put the car in the right place at the end.
Yeah, it didn't matter what it did to the car. It just felt good all night. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the short run pace at the end. So yeah, that's good.
Well, while we've got you here, do you want to shout out friends, family, sponsors? The floor is yours.
Yes, everyone watching, you guys put on the broadcast, and also Russ for building the killer setup for tonight. It was a very good setup, and also Nitro as well, just in general, for taking me on this year. It's been good fun. I'm really enjoying it.
No worries. Thank you for that, and congratulations on second place. That will hold you in good stead going into round 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. We just need consistency or wins, but yeah, we'll get that win eventually.
Just put your bumper on the back of that dancing bloke. You'll get by him. All right, thank you. Let's have a chat to our first place getter, Matt Danson.
Hello, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How'd that race go for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a tale of two halves, or tale of 3 quarters, and then come through at the clutch. But I felt like we had good pace. It's a tough one because I was trying to take it easy and save the stuff, which I probably went overboard on that. First run, it was coming to me, and I was gaining on Wayne and Ethan, and then Yellow came out. And the next run, the pace was a little bit hot at that time, and definitely closed. It was closing up on Ethan and Wayne on that one, and then just trying to get the pass done was pretty difficult, and I ended up just overdriving and burning my stuff up, trying to get around Wayne, and that allowed those boys to kind of ease back away. And then I thought, well, what can we do strategy wise? And so went the big overcut, and it would have been interesting. With the math where it was at least from my vantage point, it seemed like it was going to be close. But of course, it's diminishing returns, the longer you go. So it seemed like I was doing okay at that time, but obviously we'll never know. And then the Yellow came out, and like that restart was essentially the first time for the race that I'd actually driven hard and driven to the potential of the car. And I think I kind of got the idea after. I did have a big swing adjustment wise because I'd been chronically tight the rest of the race, but I feel like perhaps the play was to be a bit more aggressive, and that was the underdriving in the earlier runs was actually a little bit of my undoing. Maybe I was just I was wearing tires that I didn't need to wear, and that was impacting the balance and so on. But on that last run, just sort of got after it, and then got the lead, and then sort of I thought, okay, do we throttle it back here and just try and save? And tried that, but then we were still kind of eking away a little bit. And I thought, well, heck, we're not going to use these tires again. So might as well just get after it and see what we can get. And if we get a late Yellow, well, so be it. But because obviously we had no more tires left, and just sort of eked away from the field and brought it home. Pretty good in the end. Yeah,
it was a very entertaining race for the call. So congratulations on first place. You're through to the next round of playoffs.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good. It that last restart for sure was all to play for. Obviously Ethan and Brad were getting stuck in, and that looked like a lot of fun. Wayne as well was sort of right there. It was seemed like all 4 cars were right there, and actually Josh as well. He certainly looked super quick all night, and at times he seemed like he was the fastest car out there. So wasn't surprised to see him up there at the end. But yeah, it was it was cool. And then we had a nice little battle at the end, and it was very enjoyable. So can't ask for too much more.
Well, while you're in here, the floor is yours to shout out any friends, family, sponsors.
Yeah, obviously VRS or Altus Engineering through VRS. Always quality setups, quality cars across all the oval stuff. Racetech Gaming or Racetech seats, very comfy racing seats used in real life and in sim racing. So very good pickup there. Obviously the league and everyone involved there. Certainly all the drivers up front. I think we had we had a lot of nice battles and big sends. Ethan had a couple of big sends early. Brad certainly never backs down from a send, but saw those coming, did a little sidestep, and then came back and put my own foot forward. So shout out to the drivers, shout out to you boys in the broadcast booth. Definitely be a good one to watch back afterwards for sure. And as well, I think I should also acknowledge, as much as Josh was very strong and like I said, burnt up my stuff, but you got to hate it for Ethan as well, because he did. Other than my situation where it would have been close, I want to think, in terms of chasing him down. For all intents and purposes, he dominated the race. So it's unfortunate for him, but he's super fast and he'll rack up heaps of wins, no doubt.
That he probably will. So thank you for your efforts tonight, and great race to watch. So congratulations again, and you're through to the second round of playoffs.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, boys.
Here we have the schedule. So next week, New Hampshire for 84 laps, Tuesday, May 13. Then we're going to be going to Richmond to close out this round of the playoff. Then it'll be Charlotte, Nashville Speedway, Nashville Fairgrounds, and then Auto Club to round out the championship. So that's a wrap up on racing tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. We look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you very much.